Oh, you're probably wondering, where have I been? Well, I already posted it a long time ago on the community tab, but here I'll explain again, since I've been on like a 2 week break at this point, probably longer, so I'll explain why. Now, I recently got employed at a job which basically slowed down every single video and also ruined the schedule a bit, but we're all good now, in a way. Now, I will return to uploads in a way. It'll only be one video per week, and then shorts will, of course, there'll be a lot more shorts since shorts are a lot easier to do. And yeah, I haven't left. Don't worry, I'm not leaving yet. But yes, uploads will appear less frequently. Now, today's going to be a new topic. The next one will be a Nike video since the anniversary is coming up, and there also probably will be a Little Mermaid scale, because why not? Since she is going to be the main character of the next arc, which will drop in the event. So I will do a Nike video next week, maybe. But anyway, please, as always, subscribe and like. And what's today's topic? Well, I recently got invested into Monster Hunter again, with Monster Hunter Wilds dropping and gaining popularity, with its first title update actually being out right now. Pretty cool title update. Zoshir is probably one of my most favourite final bosses in Monster Hunter so far. The design, the phases, pretty much the best boss I've ever seen in terms of a final boss design for Monster Hunter. Even though it's literally just a copy of all the dragons with the wing arms and all that shit, like this meme, pretty much. But I want to talk about my actual favorite monster in the entire game, not my favorite final boss, since they're a bit more harder to scale since we don't really know that much about Zoshia. So I'll be going over my most favorite monster, which is Zhu, which is a weird name for a octopus, but let's just move on. Now, this is probably the most best looking monsters I've ever seen in the game. It actually is a new species altogether. It's actually a cephalopod. It came out of New Udra? New Udra, I think that's how you pronounce it. And they're pretty cool monsters in general. Probably my most favourite species of monster that I've seen of any. And it's weird how we actually got two monsters released in the species. I thought Newdra would have been one, and then Zuru wouldn't even be classified as one. But I guess they want to do two monsters. I really do hope we do get more cephalopods. They are pretty cool. So, yeah, anyway, enough of that. Now, do be warned, the scaling for him will include the wanks and also the baseline scaling. The wanks are a lot more based on theories, so do take them with a grain of salt. But the baseline is 100% definitive where he'd scale around about there. Now, for lore, fucking hell, voice crack. No, for lore, Zuru is basically a cephalopod type monster that adapted to the point where he could successfully eat and hunt guardian monsters. These guardians are no joke, mind you, and probably are one of the most strongest subspecies we've seen in Monster Hunter. I mean, these guys are basically designed for war in a way, and designed to fight other monsters. Basically designed to fight in a way. Now, that's the basic information out of the way. Let's get into our categories, which will be, of course, strength, which will be his baseline and his wanks, and his speed and his hacks, which is basically the usual. I don't usually do intelligence, especially for characters like this. I don't usually do intelligence for monsters. It's just not interesting. When it's human characters, sure. First, we'll go over the baseline, where you could get him. So, first, he should immediately upscale all the Guardians, minus Guardian Arkfeld, unless you want to argue it, but I'm pretty sure Guardian Arkfeld would pretty much slam Zuru in a fight, but let's ignore that. Meaning he would upscale Guardian Rathalos. Now, Guardian Rathalos is at least superior or comparable to the regular Rathalos, since it's just using the body of a Rathalos to be alive, in a way. So, it's literally just a Rathalos, but with a different coloration and different powers. So you could already argue him to be around about large building, Why am I saying large building? Well, the reason is because regular Rathalos was on par with Lagiacrus, which is actually going to be the second title update, which is pretty cool, because I haven't actually fought him myself. He was meant to be in World, but they removed him. I really want to fight Lagiacrus, so glad he's going to be the second title update. But anyway, so Lagiacrus is the same one who shattered a large amount of rock under the sea, which was calculated at large building level. Of course, you can get higher, but large building level is the most realistic. And Rathalos would scale to this since they're both comparable. This also goes the same way for the Guardian Rathalos. So, large building level baseline so far. Which means he's already a Jurassic Park victimizer. Jesus Christ. That video was pretty good actually, that shot. Especially with the Rexy glazes and all that. But anyway. But we could go further with this. Now, some people actually want to argue that the Guardians are actually superior to many past Rathalos, especially Guardian Rathalos, that they're the most upgraded version of a subspecies. Now, it's a bit iffy, but you can make an argument for it. Now, since these were basically made for battle, unlike other Wrath variants who just made adaptations to get higher on the food chain, you could at least get him comparable to Silver Rathalos. Now, who is Silver Rathalos and why is he so special? Now, Silver Rathalos is actually pretty OP. He is comparable to his female counterpart, Golden Rathian, who was able to actually fight on par with Kushala Daora. Yes, an Elder Dragon who was calculated at roundabout large iron level via his storms in the first games. Which is insanity. Imagine being a flying wyvern and somehow being able to be on par with an Elder Dragon. Now, this of course would get Juru to large iron level since he's able to be superior to the Guardian Rathalos, which isn't really a far-fetched take, if I'm being honest. But like I said again, large building level is a bit realistic, but if you want to go above and beyond, you can get him to large island. So that's all good and all. So this would at least put Juru at large building to large island, depending on how you want to argue it. Now for speed, it's very simple for his speed. Monster Hunter speed isn't really that hard to calc and deconstruct. It's not really hard to scale in a way. So first, you could get him to Hypersonic via him being comparable to the late game Hunter, who could dodge Fulgur and Jannath's lightning, which would of course be Hypersonic. Then you could also argue him being Supersonic anyway, because he's comparable to Odogaron, well technically superior to Odogaron, the Guardian version anyway, which is just a regular Odogaron but superior. And he was able to basically beat the shit out of Guardian Odogaron, which will get him to Supersonic. So pretty good stuff there, which is Supersonic to Hypersonic for his speed. Now for hacks, he actually has a lot of interesting ones. He has weapon creation. Yes, he actually has weapon creation. With his mucus, he can basically create projectiles and even sharpen his own tentacles, making them into blades, into, curved thingies, I don't know what you call them, but you can literally make his tentacles like curved hook hands in a way. It's pretty cool. There's a reason this guy's my favourite monster in the game. You can also argue type 1 and 2 immortality. Technically, he doesn't need to feed all the time. You can go like ages without eating, so... and his desired source, of course, is the Guardians. He doesn't really eat Guardians all the time, so you can make an argument for type 1 and 2 immortality. He also has tentacle manipulation, which shouldn't be surprising, because it's an octopus. Resistance to the dragon element, which is shown by its turf war with Odogaron, and its own description on the wiki. You could also argue camouflage, since he does have the nickname of, I think it's Concealed Assassin or something. It's on the wiki, but it does list him as Concealed Assassin, so you could argue he could have camouflage as well. Especially he's also very dark coloured, so it's perfect for the environment he's in. So yeah, you could make an argument for camouflage. And that's it. Juru is probably my most favourite monster, brand new, I've ever seen. Because he's a cool fight, he's unique, and I don't think it's really been done before. So he's probably one of the best new monsters we've seen. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next one. Hopefully. Bye bye.